So here's a great idea. Why don't we make qualifying more exciting by eliminating a driver every 90 seconds? After 6 to 5 minutes into the session, that will make it super exciting, wouldn't it? Said no one ever. What's up everyone, my name is Freddy, welcome to DominicanSenna F1 Reviews, and let's talk F1, yo. Hit it, Pedro! I need to stop watching Alejandro. We are back to Formula 1 season 2016. Finally, it's here, people. So guys, I also thought that this new qualifying form was going to be the bomb. It was going to be super exciting, super cool. Yes, it was totally not. It just got worse from Q1, Q2, Q3. There was just less and less cars on the track. The cars spent more time in the garage than in the track, which was the whole point, the whole opposite point of the system. And you could see Vettel in Q3, you know, out of his car with 3.5 minutes to go or so, qualifying and still running, just really boring. The funniest thing was, at the end of the session, Q3, you would see the guy with the checker flag waving the flag. There was nobody on track. That was just exactly, if you could describe what qualifying was, right there. Perfect. Up to the race, guys. The Australian Grand Prix 2016. What an open to the season. What a debut to the Formula 1 season. It was extremely exciting race. So much different than qualifying. It really paid off. And wow, what a race. Since the beginning, we saw Hamilton was on pole, Rosberg second place, Vettel in third. And what a race. From the beginning, the Ferraris were just explosive. They were first and second by the third corner. I was watching, I was like, oh my god, yes! You know, that, yes, finally. Whew. Anyway guys, it was a great start by Ferrari. I would divide this race in the first part, in the two parts. The first one before the red flag came with that horrible crash with Fernando Alonso and Esteban Gutierrez, which in my opinion was a slight misjudgment by Alonso on the overtake, or maybe it could be that Gutierrez lift off the gas. You know, with these cars, they have so much downforce. I mean, if you lift off a little bit, you brake a lot, and that could make a really big difference in the move that Fernando was trying to make. So thankful that they are both alive, and yeah, they're well. Really thankful for that. It really is a testament to the safety of the F1 cars of today. If you would compare that to when Senna was driving and that same accident would happen, things would probably be much different and much worse. So that caused a red flag, which delayed the race by around 15 minutes, I would say, or so. And up to that point, up to that red flag, Ferrari and Kimi Raikkonen were on top. When Vettel gets ahead, I mean, I've personally seen, in all these years that I've been watching F1, I've never seen a driver pull away with so much confidence at the start of a race. I mean, when Vettel leads, man, you can just forget about it. I mean, that guy's like a rocket. He really started pulling away from the Mercedes, but onto the red flag, they were just flying by with Raikkonen behind, then Rosberg and Hamilton at the start of the race. With in the first corner, he kind of tucked into the back of Rosberg. Yeah, it wasn't too good. So he lost a lot of space, a lot of track there. He wound up in 7th place behind Verstappen in the Toro Rosso. So Ferrari, what can we say about Ferrari? I think that they have improved massively to winter and from last year. I know they can have so much more speed than they have now, because that qualifying system I think it messed everyone up where they really stand on the grid, because that new qualifying system was horrible, and thankfully they will change it for Bahrain. Such a shame that Raikkonen had his engine blew up and he had to stop on the pit stop, and fire was coming out of the air intake from the Formula 1 car. And yeah, it's just a shame, because he was doing really good. He was keeping up with Vettel, which was impressive because last year it wasn't too good for him. Yeah, finally, at the end, Vettel ended third. The main reason that Vettel didn't finish first or second was because when the red flag and everyone stopped and you can change your tires and you got like a free pit stop there whenever you restart the race. According to Ted Scravi, the reporter for Sky F1 News, Ferrari stayed in the used super soft compound, the red marking one, because according to Ted Kravitz, Ferrari engineers told him that they didn't know what was going to happen if they put the mediums on. Because if you can remember, and if you know, in testing, Ferrari ran most of his testing in the super soft, the red one, and the ultra soft. They didn't have enough knowledge of the medium tire. They didn't know how much it was going to last, if it was going to last much of the race. So they took the gamble. Vettel staying in the super soft tires is what really messed their strategy, because Mercedes, if you remember, in the other side, Mercedes ran most of its testing in the medium tire. Like almost every day they just ran medium, and they did hundreds and hundreds of laps on the tire. So they got a really good idea. And everyone was saying during testing, hey, why don't they run the super soft? Why don't they really show their pace and what they have to give with the ultra soft and the super soft tires? But it really paid off, because those tires from Mercedes lasted a really long time. Rosberg kept his head down and he ultimately won the race. He didn't make any mistakes. The strategy he made when he changed to the medium tires was the right point. Everything for him really came together this weekend, and that's what really won the race. Unfortunately, Hamilton, which qualified on pole, was stuck behind Verstappen most of the race. So Red Bull, Ricciardo got that 4th place behind Vettel. A great run by Ricciardo, really fast, smooth, didn't make any mistakes. He was just charging through the pack. You know, he started 8th and he finished 4th. Daniel Kvyat, on the other hand, had to retire even before the race started. He just did the formation lap, had to stop close to his grid position on the start and get out of the car, and yeah, that was it for him. So really disappointed. Then we've got Massa, Felipe Massa in the Williams. He qualified 6th and ended up 5th. Not much to say about Massa, not really any highlights. He didn't make any mistakes. 6th place for Romain Grosjean. What an amazing race for him. Really smooth, really fast. You could see in the closing stages, he was keeping up with Hülkenberg that was behind him, and he kept that gap about 2 seconds. I mean, think about it. Think about it for a moment. I mean, there are teams in Formula 1 that have years and years and years. For example, Marussia barely got a point in 2014 with Jules Bianchi in Monaco. Hispania, HRT, Virgin, all those teams have years and years trying to score one point. That's a testament of how good they were prepared for this race and for this season. Unfortunately, Gutierrez got in that crash with Fernando Alonso, but I'm pretty sure he would have been right up there with him for surely the top 10. Also, Valtteri Bottas did pretty good. I mean, he recovered from 16th place that he got in qualifying, partly because of a grid penalty. Very happy for him. He didn't make any mistakes. I'm disappointed for Williams. You know, I expected more from them. But it's just a start. It's just the first race, and this qualifying has really messed everything up. Now, in 7th place, we got one of the Force Indias, Nico Hülkenberg. Good race by Nico. He came from 10th after being out-qualified by his teammate Sergio Perez to finish 7th. Then we got Toro Rosso with Sainz and Verstappen. I think it's like the second rivalry apart from Hamilton and Rosberg. Definitely not the real result that Toro Rosso deserved with Sainz and Verstappen, because in qualifying all the way through testing they were so much faster than this 8th and 9th position. Then we have Renault, the new team took over from Lotus with Jolyon Palmer, the rookie, and Kevin Magnussen. I think Jolyon Palmer really surprised for the first race. He didn't make any mistakes. He out-qualified Kevin Magnussen, which has some experience in Formula 1. and they qualified 13 and 14 to finish 11th and 12th. Perez ended up 13, and after qualifying Hulkenberg, it was a bit disappointing to see him finish 13th. Jenson Button from McLaren ride, really disappointing 14th. I really thought they were going to be in this point this year from the first ride on. Unfortunately, we don't know what would have happened if Alonso wouldn't have had that crash. After Button qualifying on 12th place and falling back to 14th, yeah, that's not a good sign. I think the pace of the car is just not there yet. Then we got the Saubers with Felipe Nasr in 15th place. What a disappointment for Nasr after last year in the Australian Grand Prix finishing 5th. The pace of the Saubers just is not there really. In 15th position we got another rookie, Pascal Wehrlein, which is in 16th place. After qualifying in 21st, came in on 16th. Of course, most of those positions are because Haryanto didn't finish, Alonso didn't finish, Gutierrez didn't finish, Raikkonen didn't finish. Although he was out qualified by his other rookie Formula 1 driver, Rio Haryanto from Indonesia, and that really impressed me about Haryanto. I thought Pascal was gonna be much faster, since Pascal have gotten a much more experience than him testing with the Mercedes car. At the end it didn't matter because Haryanto didn't finish. He had to retire the car on lap 18 after a driveline problem. Another car that didn't score any points was Sauber's Marcus Ericsson, which had a drafting issue and had to stop the car in lap 39. The driver of the day for the Australian Grand Prix 2016 for me has to be Roman Grosjean. I mean, what he did was pretty spectacular, and what that car did was really spectacular as well. I mean, he came from 19th place in qualifying to finish 6th in the race in a freaking new car. He just kept his head down, didn't get in trouble, kept it clean, kept it consistent, was really fast everywhere, kept the Force India behind by 2 seconds consistently. Yeah. Takeaways from the Australian Grand Prix 2016. I think it was a fantastic race. It was super exciting to watch it, especially before the red flag with the Ferrari on front, and you know the Mercedes not being able to catch Ferrari in the first part, and Hamilton battling with Verstappen and being frustrated, and we got that amazing fight between Verstappen and Sainz by the end. A lot of tension in the team and in those two guys. Now, for the safety of F1 cars, as we saw in Fernando's crash, it is amazing that he came out that quickly. He went to the hospital, was completely fine. For the Bahrain Grand Prix, I expect many battles between Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and possibly Toro Rosso. If they get the qualifying right and get the strategy right and everything, they could be really, really close in the top 5. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I would love for you guys to tell me who you think is going to win in Bahrain. Do you think Ferrari is going to win? Do you think they have what it takes to beat Mercedes? You know, that... Until the next race guys, my name is Freddy and thank you so much for watching DominicanSenna F1 Reviews.